Time is the one commodity that all of us are running out of, and the one thing that we cannot make more of. Time is also the crucial ingredient in many aspects of wealth building. Want to build a business? It takes time. Want to see your investments grow? It takes time. To set yourself up for success, develop and deploy strategies that lean into the power of time. Using 5 such strategies, I paid off a 30-year mortgage in 8 years, I earned double-digit returns from my stock portfolio, and built a super prime credit score. And there is no better time to deploy these strategies than at the start of a new year. Okay, let's jump right in. First on the list is pay off your credit card balance in full. I pay off my credit card balance in full every month, and this is especially important at the start of a new year. With the new year comes the weight of all the holiday shopping in the form of credit card balances. The average holiday spending during November and December of this year is expected to grow to approximately $967 billion, which is a 3 to 4% increase compared to 2022. This equates to $875 of spend per person. And that amount is going to show up on your credit card statements for January and February in the new year. At the moment, the average APR for credit cards is 21.19%, which is a significant increase from the second quarter of this year when the average APR was 20.68%. What this means is that if you don't pay off your credit card statement in full, you're looking at large interest payments that will accrue and increase your credit card balance. And missed payments have a high negative impact on your credit score. 2 or more missed payments can stay on your credit report for up to 6 years from the reported date, even if you pay the past due amount. And this is where time is an important consideration. The longer you maintain a good credit history, the lower the impact a random missed payment can have on your credit score. A poor credit score, on the other hand, translates to higher interest rates on car loans, higher interest rates on mortgage renewals, and can even impact your rental applications. If you are just starting out on your career, give yourself every opportunity to succeed rather than being weighed down by a poor credit score. If you are a bit further along, it's not too late to turn the corner. Remember, time is on your side. As long as you pay off your credit card balance in full, interest rates are virtually meaningless and your credit score will thrive. So to start the new year off on the right foot, pay off your credit card balance in full and keep that trend going every single month after. Second on the list is make mortgage prepayments at the start of the year. I make lump sum prepayments towards my mortgage at the start of every year. Here's why. The average interest rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is now 6.95%. In the second quarter of 2023, the average mortgage debt balance was $242,000, which is a 4% increase from 2022. The typical mortgage term is 30 years. Assuming you do nothing but make regular payments, it will take you 30 years to pay off this loan. The typical first-time home buyer is 36 years old, which means that they will be 66 by the time the home is paid off. If you are in this situation, think about all the major life events that can happen during that time. Getting married, kids, health issues perhaps. Knowing all of this, would you want to be stuck with a 30-year loan? So take advantage of every provision your mortgage provides to pay it off faster. Each year, my lender allows a lump sum payment of up to 15% of the original principal borrowed, which is applied directly against the principal balance. This meant that I could pay down my loan even faster. Let's do the math to show the impact this action can have. For example, on a 30-year fixed rate loan at 6.95% for the amount of $242,000, if you did nothing but make scheduled monthly payments, it would take you 30 years to pay off the mortgage. And in that time, you would have paid $340,000 in interest. Making lump sum payments of 15% each year reduced the loan term to just 6 years and only $56,000 in total interest paid. That's a reduction of over 83% in the total amount of interest paid. But this example assumes that the lump sum payments were made at the end of the year. Given this video is about the importance of timing, would it matter when the prepayment was made? In other words, is it better to make the prepayment at the start of the year like I do? Let's redo the math. If you made the prepayments at the beginning of the year, the loan term reduced to just 5 years and only $52,000 in total interest paid. That's a reduction of just under 85%. By making prepayments at the beginning of the year, the loan was paid off 1 year earlier and the total amount of interest paid reduced by approximately $4,600. That's enough to go on a nice vacation. So make prepayments whenever you have extra cash on hand, and if possible, make those payments earlier in the year. I used this approach and many more to pay off my mortgage within 8 years. If you're interested to know all the details, I made a full video about this. I'll include the link up here and in the description. Third on the list is don't time the market. Most of you know of Warren Buffett, but you've probably never heard of Ronald Read. You see, Ronald Read was a janitor in Vermont who built an $8 million fortune without anyone around him knowing. His estate was revealed after his passing in 2015 at the age of 92. Read's portfolio included big-name stocks like Wells Fargo, Procter & Gamble, and Colgate. The two key ingredients that helped Read amass this portfolio were longevity and patience. Many of his positions were held for several years, if not decades, and delivered massive returns over that period. Through his investing time horizon of more than 50 years, Read lived through at least 5 major market crashes. But he never wavered in his investment choices, rather choosing to remain in the market. And because of this longevity, Read benefited tremendously from the cumulative effect of compound interest. Einstein is reputed to have said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." And Read certainly understood it and earned tremendously from it. An interesting fact about compound interest is that if you track Warren Buffett's wealth back through time, you will notice that 90% of his fortune was generated after his 60th birthday. If he had retired early in his 50s, most people would have never heard of him. So what's the practical lesson that we can take away from this? When it comes to investing in stocks, don't time the market. Putnam Investments studied the performance of the S&P 500 over a 15-year period starting in 2008. And during that time, the annualized return was 8.8%. But that's not the interesting part. Looking through the data, they found something amazing. If you started out with $10,000 in the S&P 500 and stayed fully invested for 15 years, you would have seen that $10,000 grow into $35,461. If you happen to miss the S&P 500's 10 best days, the portfolio would have grown to $16,246. So by not remaining fully invested, you lost $19,215. If you missed the 30 best days of the S&P 500, your portfolio shrank to $6,399. You actually lost money. So what does this mean? It means that a few days over a large period of time have an outsized impact on the growth of your portfolio. But here's the catch. No one knows when those days are. That's why your best bet is to keep investing regularly and not try to time the market. Your best bet is to set up your investment account to automatically buy a set amount of low-cost index funds each month. Then sit back, relax, and let compound interest take the wheel. The final two strategies are low-hanging fruit in my opinion, but they serve to reinforce the previous strategies. The fourth strategy on the list is make your retirement contributions before the deadline. If you have a traditional IRA in the US or an RRSP in Canada, the contributions you make to the account may entitle you to a tax deduction each year, and these tax deductions could result in tax refunds. The deadline for making contributions actually goes well into the new year. For example, you can make IRA contributions for the 2023 tax year all the way up to April 15th of 2024. And the same deadline for the RRSP contributions is February 29th of 2024. This is an important detail because most employees receive their bonus at the start of the new year. So if you have the extra cash on hand, use the extended contribution deadline to your advantage and get some tax refunds along the way. And while you're at it, you might as well invest the new contributions sitting in your retirement accounts to increase your time in the market. And to get the tax refunds sooner, we go to the final strategy. File your taxes before the deadline. The deadline for filing your taxes is April 15th in the US and April 30th in Canada. If you think you might be entitled to a tax refund, you don't have to wait till the deadline to file your taxes. The government is just keeping your tax dollars for free. It's in your best interest to get the refund back to you as soon as possible to then deploy it elsewhere. In terms of early tax filing dates, the IRS started accepting and processing returns for the 2022 tax year on Jan 23rd of 2023, and the CRA in Canada started accepting electronic returns on February 20th. The announcements for the 2023 fiscal year will be made sometime in the new year, so be on the lookout. There are two other reasons to file your taxes early. First, if you use a tax accountant, they can get booked up fast as you get closer to the due date. And if you use an online tax prep software to file electronically, the system can become painfully slow as you try to populate your return. The second reason is that the tax authorities are less busy before the deadline. You are more likely to have your tax returns processed faster, and if you are owed a refund, receive it sooner. And cash in your pocket earlier means more time to make it work for you. So there you have it. You now understand the critical function that time plays in most wealth-related matters. Let me know if you plan to use any of these strategies or have developed ones of your own that lean into the power of time. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.